Hello everyone, it's Christopher Allen, and we are here today with another tutorial. Today what we're going to do is I'm going to teach you how to apply vinyl to one of the tumbler cups. I have been asked quite a few times on the Facebook page, the Cricut design space page, as well as in a couple of different messages and on YouTube, to actually post a tutorial kind of going over how to apply the vinyl, as well as, you know, how to weed it and things of that nature. So today I'm actually going to do a little bit of a bonus. I'm also going to show how to download a font and use a font as something that you're going to cut out. I know that we do use a lot of different fonts to actually apply letters and stuff like that, but I did see a lot of people using fonts to actually create things to put onto the cups, and we're going to show how to actually go ahead and do that today. So let's go ahead and get started. As usual, I'm going to first go over the things that we need to actually complete this tutorial, then I'll show you how to go ahead and do it, and then we'll look at the finished product. Thanks, and I hope you enjoy. Okay everyone, for this tutorial you will need vinyl, transfer paper or contact paper, a plastic tumbler, a weeding tool, and a burnishing tool. We're going to go ahead and get our image that we're going to use on the cup. Then we're going to go ahead and get our font slash dingbat that we are going to use for the cup. And we're going to get started. So first what we'll do is we'll go ahead and we will pull up our web browser of choice. And we're going to go ahead and we will go to my favorite website, is of course Google, to actually go ahead and pull up the image here from the Black Lagoon. He again is a friend that is into the old horror movies. So we're going to go ahead and we are going to look up Creature from the Black Lagoon, and we can find hopefully we can go ahead and we can find one that will be easy for us to go ahead and pull into our design space and go ahead and change. So first what we're going to do, or not change, excuse me, to go ahead and detect those lines to cut. So what we're going to first do is I did click on images in Google, and we always want to go to drawing, because that will find us the best images. We'll click view images, and this will bring us up all of the images of different drawings of the Creature from the Black Lagoon. Now I did find one earlier, of course, because I do like to be prepared to make sure that I have everything we need for the tutorials, and I like this one here that we're going to use. So what you can do is you can either click view image or just go right here and press, click the save image as, and go ahead and save that. We want to save that under our Cricut stuff. Of course, I did already save this under the, I believe it's under New Black Lagoon, and then we hit save, and that will go ahead and save that for us. So we're going to head on out of here. We're going to go to our Cricut canvas, and we're going to hit upload image. Now I did review this on our previous, my very first video on vinyl, but we'll go ahead and I'll show you how to do it very quickly again. You're going to want to hit continue to step 1. We'll browse. We're going to go into our Cricut stuff folder, because that is where we saved it. And we're going to pull up our Creature from the Black Lagoon that we found. We're going to go ahead and hit simple image, because this is a black and white. Continue to step 2. Now you do see here that this is kind of a pixelated picture. I have learned over time that that will not matter. What happens is the Cricut design space, luckily, will actually go ahead and it will smooth out those lines for us automatically, which is fantastic. Now again, what I did was I went ahead and I'm clicking all of the white areas that we want to get rid of. You can always go ahead and click on this eye and make sure that we got everything. This eye actually shows us a preview of what's going to cut. I did miss this little part down here by the mouth and the lip. We're going to look at that, and that looks pretty good to me. So we hit continue to step 3, save it for what we like, and hit save image. Now again, I did already save this under Creature, so we're going to go ahead and close that out. We're going to hit now insert image, because we did save it, and up here we're going to type in Creature and hit find. Now again, this is fantastic, because these are our images as well that we have saved. So I saved this under Creature. This is the one that I had already kind of weeded out the color. We see we have green and green box, green check. We're good to go. We're going to hit insert image. Now this image is going to pop up, and here we go, and here it is. Now my cups that I do are about 5 inches tall, so I always like to go over to the edit and take the height. I always do the height. I don't really care so much about the width because we really can't do anything about that because it's gonna, no matter what, go around the cup. So I always do a 4.5, click in this box, and then that will take us to the exact size that we need for our cup. And then we have our image, as easy as that. Now what we're gonna do is we wanna go ahead and we want to find our font. Now, I always go to dafont.com. I will go ahead and I will put that web page down at the bottom of the screen so y'all can write that down. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how we can use actually a dingbat for this. Now, I like to go in and I'm going to use the TV and movie dingbats. That's right up here. You'll click and look how many different variations we have that you can use as cut files. And this is fantastic. Now, I do want you to be cautious and know that if you would pick something like this Garfield, there's going to be some very fine lines that are going to be cut out. But look at these Mickey Mouses, the vintage Disney, these Hall of Heroes are great. Again, just so many different variations that you can use, and there are actually over 5 pages of these. So, I mean, there's so many things that you can use from here. What we're going to use for ours is the movie gallery. So what we'll do is just click on the movie gallery, click on those pictures. And once I scrolled through here, I did find that there is actually a letter that corresponds with this actual image. So just stick with me here and I will actually show you once we get back in. But the creature from the Black Lagoon right here is actually corresponds with the $sign. So we did find the creature from the Black Lagoon. This is great because we don't have to look for this font. We don't have to try to recreate this. We have it right here. So we'll go on up here. We'll hit download. And it's going to go ahead and on my PC, it's very similar on a Mac. You'll hit save file and we'll hit OK. Now my downloads on Firefox, it's great. They go right up here to this little arrow. We'll click on this movie gallery font and we'll double click here. Now what I suggest doing, well, first and foremost, we'll hit install, and it's going to go ahead and it's going to install that. Now, I already have this installed, so we'll click no, but of course you would hit yes. We'll close out of here, and we'll close out of here. Now, what you want to do is it's very faint here, but you can see the gray area. It says A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and so on. Those are the letters that will correspond with the photo that's going to come up when you type that into Design Space. So what you want to do is you want to print this out from this screen. And I will show you that once we jump over to the video of me actually weeding and assembling the cup. So you do want to make sure you print this out so that you have kind of a registration of what, how everything's going to work out. So we're going to go ahead and close out of here. We have our font. We'll hit add text. And what we're going to do is we're just going to hit our $sign because we did see on that previous page that the $sign is going to equal to the creature from the Black Lagoon. Now we'll go over here and we'll click on our title. So what we're going to do is I'm going to put this in mini monograms first so you can see that this is in fact the $sign that I did type in. So we can see that this is the $sign. And this would actually be great for The Price is Right. But here's that $sign. And if we go over here, now you're going to want to remember that it's called movie font. I believe it's called movie, let me see here, movie gallery. So you're going to want to go to the M's whenever you go ahead and select your font. Now remember that in Cricut Design Space, they do actually write the name in the actual font. So when we go up here, you're going to see that the actual font is written in little pictures. So once we get down to where movie gallery should be, where did it go? Oh, it's actually right here. We'll click on that and we can see that the little pictures actually correspond with the name. Now, one thing that I did forget to tell you to do is once you install that font, if you have the Cricut Design Space open, that font will not appear over here in the edit screen. A lot of people will tell you that you have to go ahead and close out and come back in. What I would suggest doing is installing your font first. You can still have the Cricut canvas open, If you did do a lot of work before you installed the font, just hit File and save this, and just hit the reload. What will happen is this will reload. It will ask if you want to navigate away from the page. You say yes. You'll just file and open up all the work that you did, and then right under here you will have your new font loaded. So everything will be there for you to use. So here we go. We can see that this did turn into a cut file as opposed to a font. And what we'll do is we're going to size this the way that we would like it. We're going to have to go down here to size this because this is technically a font. And we'll go ahead and we'll say that we want the height to be, let's say, 4. Actually, let's do 3.5 so that it's not too high and doesn't wrap around too far. So what we want to do is, since both of these are going to be the same color, we go up to our sync again. Going to grab this, go on up and put these together. That means that they're going to cut on the same mat. We go ahead and we hit go. And then what we'll be able to see once we hit go is we'll actually be able to see how they are going to be placed on the mat. Again, if these were going to be 2 different colors, which I have reviewed before, and you're going to put them on the same mat, all you're going to do is once this comes up and loads, you're going to grab whichever image that you want that's a different color. Say, for instance, we were going to do the creature in black and the Creature from the Black Lagoon logo in silver. We would go ahead and we would take this and we put this down here, and we would just put our silver vinyl down here in the corner. Now again, what we do is we want this in black and want this in silver, put our black vinyl up here and our silver here. And again, you may have seen this turned red. That means that it will not cut. So we want to keep it in the yellow. Yellow means good. Then we'll hit go, and then everything will start cutting for us. And when we come back, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start weeding everything out for you. And we're going to go ahead and apply it to the cup. So just stick with me, and we'll go ahead and we'll finish up this cup. Okay, everybody, and we're back. And what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we are going to review how to weed out the vinyl, how to go ahead and transfer. But first, real quick, I wanted to show you, I did tell you that the you can print out the different fonts. This is, there's a couple of extra pages here, but these is how the fonts print out. Now, on the DaFont website, they do give you a printable version. I didn't do that version. This is just kind of printing it from the screen, but I'm sure you can't see it because it's hard for me to see it, even right here, but there are the letters are right here. What I do is I usually go ahead and I go over it, and this is the L and the M, and you know, it shows you exactly what the different letters and symbols correspond to. So we'll go ahead and we'll put this to the side because we don't need this right now. Again, as always, excuse my messy workstation. I have been working on a lot of projects that I'm sure you've seen that I've posted. And we'll go ahead and we will go and we'll grab our vinyl. Now, this is our vinyl that's already been cut out. Just ignore this area down here. I accidentally put this in with another piece of vinyl that was open, so you can see that the vinyl does stick very, very well to other vinyl. So we'll go ahead and we will take our weeding tool. Sorry about that, I had to go and grab my weeding tool. I had it in the other room. Sometimes I go into the kitchen to do weeding because the light, there's just so much more light in there than there is in my craft room. So what we'll do is normally I'll go ahead and I'll take a look at this and see there's a lot of extra vinyl that we can save here. So I'll take my rotary tool that you can use on this vinyl that also can be used. It's actually made for fabric, but we'll go ahead and we'll look at our raised lines. And what I like to do is I don't like to waste any vinyl because I know that at some point I'm going to need a little word or a little letter or something. So I'll go ahead and I will take this vinyl right off of here that I did cut, and I will reuse this again. This might look like a tiny little piece of vinyl that you will never use, but I could tell you that I could probably do 3 more cups out of here using the little pieces. So we'll go ahead and now we'll take our weeding tool, and what we'll do is I like to go ahead and I pierce just the vinyl part, and then I'll go ahead and I will lift ever so gently to pull out our image. Now, this vinyl that I am using is the vinyl that it's my favorite type of vinyl, and that is the Papercraft vinyl. You can actually purchase it from Hobby Lobby. Let me go ahead and, if you have a Hobby Lobby near you, or you can order it online, it looks like this in the package. It's called self-adhesive vinyl. It is only $7.99, which is fantastic. And you actually get a 12 by 36 sheet. You actually get 2 sheets that are 12 by 36. So you get 6 feet of vinyl for $7.99, which is a ton of cups. And also, this right now is 50% off at Hobby Lobby. I believe it's until May 3rd, it's 50% off. So you can get, I mean, for $3.99, you can get a lot of vinyl. I actually just stocked up on a ton of vinyl, and I think I'm going to go back because it's just, I mean, they have so many great colors there that you cannot get in the store with the Cricut vinyl. Again, the Cricut vinyl is great. I've used it a lot, but you can't usually find these colors in the stores. So now what we'll do is we'll go ahead and we're going to start our weeding process. Now, I on purpose picked out this kind of difficult image to weed out because so many of the individuals that I've spoken to on Facebook, individuals that have left me messages on YouTube and things of that nature have, you know, said that it's so nerve-wracking to kind of go ahead and try to weed out something like this that's super small like this. Now, the Cricut Explorer, as you can see as I'm weeding out these tiny little pieces, is awesome for these tiny little, I mean, it's so tiny. But you don't have to be, you know, scared to weed out these little pieces because it's so easy if you have a tool like this. Again, this came from the Cricut tool set. You can use whatever tool is best for you. Again, a sewing needle works great. You can use anything. I mean, you could even use, you know, a pen to pull pieces out. Whatever, you know, is easiest for you because you're pulling out the negative. You're not pulling out the actual real part of it. So you know, if you get some pen marks on the negative, it doesn't matter because you're not using it. Now, for this piece, which has a lot of delicate lines, you do want to go ahead, and I always go ahead and I burnish it down first so that all those little pieces are stuck very well. Again, this is a tool from Cricut. It is the Cricut burnishing tool. This is the one I was talking about in my first video. This is the very original one that I got in my green kit, and this is the newer version that came with the new spatula and a couple of different new tools that I got. So we'll go ahead and we'll put this to the side. And now while I am weeding this, what I do is I go ahead and I take a look like this to see what I'm going to pull out. And I go ahead and I very gently pull this out. Now there are some pieces here that are very small, but we want to keep on here. So we'll use the end of this tool. We'll kind of press those down. If they don't want to come out, then sometimes they're pieces that you won't even miss. So I won't even worry about those. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and we'll slowly pull this up. And as you can see, the Cricut Explorer machine makes such amazing delicate cuts that you can see this is just, I mean, this is just honestly coming up like nothing. I mean, it's absolutely beautiful. You will have to help a couple of the areas, you know, with your tool. Go ahead and pull those areas up. But if you're just gentle, sometimes you don't even have to do very much of the weeding. If it's a graphic that you found that's good like this, you can just go ahead and you can pull this up. And I apologize if you can hear my dogs out in the hallway. They're wrestling on the hardwood floor, which is great with their little nails. They sound like they're ice skating. You go ahead and you pull this up. Sometimes you'll get the vinyl stuck in the vinyl. Just be very gentle and get that pulled up. And look at that image. I mean, that's fantastic. This is, you know, this is the kind of image that you would get from a professional machine. So we'll go ahead and now what I do is, again, kind of bring this a little bit towards the light to see what else needs weeded out. And I sometimes have to bring it kind of close because the light doesn't always catch when you're doing the black. The black is the only one that's kind of difficult to see, you know, what's being weeded out because the gradation is kind of difficult whenever you're looking at it because it doesn't match up so well. If you're doing any lighter colors, generally it does, you know, come out a lot nicer. And we'll go ahead and there's his lips, and we'll grab this part out here, and we'll grab this part out here. Now what you've seen is when I do a lot of little parts, I just go ahead and I stick them to my pointer finger. Also, what I like to do is I'll go ahead and I'll take a piece out, and I'll use the bottom of the mat, take it, and press it down. You can see I have pieces here. I'll clean those up later. But, you know, this does help to have a place to put them, because once you get a bunch stuck to your hand, it's you know, you have them all over the place and you don't know, you know what to do. So with them all, because you're kind of gummed up your hands. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and take my favorite material, which is our magic cover. I did use this again in the first video. We're going to go ahead and we're going to line it up to see what, you know, where we need to go ahead and put this magic cover. And what I like to do now is I'll create myself a little registration mark. It's very easy to draw on this, and we go ahead and we'll pull this up because it does get, you know, obviously stuck to the mat. And we'll take our little scissors. You can use whichever scissors work best for you. I bought this set actually at Sam's Club. It came with, I think, 6 different scissors. They're Westcott, 6 different scissors, and I think it was like $7 or something. And these scissors are fantastic, and you can mark them, you know, for all the different work that you do. I think I got 2 sets, one that I only use for fabric and one that I use for the paper and for things like this. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and, of course, since this is being videotaped as opposed to me just doing it here by myself, this is going to be very difficult to pull this transfer paper up. Usually, excuse me, not transfer paper, this is our magic cover that I get from the Dollar Tree. So we'll go ahead and we'll get this pulled up. I promise you it is very easy to pull up, but of course right now, since I'm trying to do this all on video, it's going to be a little bit more difficult. So once you get this, I keep wanting to call it transfer paper, once you get this contact paper to cooperate, you can go ahead and put this on top of our image. And what we can maybe do here is just do kind of the same thing that I do with the transfer paper, with the vinyl. There we go. And we got it. Now what we do is we go ahead and we lay this down just on the area that we want to pick up. We go ahead and we burnish that down really well. And you want to, again, be careful with this contact paper because it's not as thick as the transfer paper. Now what we do is we go ahead and we take our cup. I get my cups from the Dollar Tree. I buy a case of them at a time. And what I do to keep myself kind of sane and to keep this from moving is I go ahead, and this is going to sound crazy, but I go ahead and I stick it right down to my Cricut mat. And you do have a little bit of movement, but not much whenever you're just working by yourself. You're going to go ahead and you're going to pull up this image. And what I do to try to get this as centered as I can, and by centered I mean not, you know, crooked if you're using a straight image. This is kind of a little bit of a different type of it's not, I don't mean to say different type of an image. This image is already kind of off, you know, kind of curved and moving to begin with, so we don't really have to worry about the centeredness of it. And then what we'll do is we'll go ahead and we'll burnish this on. Now, what I want you to take notice of is if you can see these little creases right here, any little creases that you have that go over top of your letters, those are going to create bubbles. And those, any type of crease that you see is going to automatically transfer over to the lettering or the image underneath. So we'll go ahead. The nice thing about the stickiness of the mat is it still allows us to move it a little bit, but if we, I should put a little bit of sticky under here. It still will let us to move a little bit, but it will stay in place. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and we'll take this off. You want to make sure that any areas that are coming up, you want to go ahead and burnish those back down. Luckily, on this one, it looks like nothing is coming up here. So what I did notice, and luckily for us, is that I did forget to weed out the A here. So luckily, since this is such a tiny piece, I can go ahead and pull that up while it's already on the cup. Now, again, that might worry you and say, oh my goodness, stuff is going to come off of the cup. No, 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 no. That's because generally no one's going to be coming up to your cup with a dental tool like this and prying on things. But as you can see, I mean, that looks great. I mean, that really stuck on there well. So what we'll do now is I'm going to show you it again on the other side. We'll use our same piece of transfer paper, or I keep calling it transfer paper, our same piece of contact paper, and we'll go ahead and we're going to burnish this down. Again, be very careful. We have tons of little pieces on here. And go ahead and burnish that down. Then we're going to pull it up. Now, as you can see here, there's a piece here that's not coming up. All we do, go over top of that a couple of times, and it should pull right up for you. Now we're going to go ahead and pull this up the rest of the way. Move our mat out of the way. Oh, actually, we'll keep our mat here because we're going to go ahead and use that to stick. And we'll go ahead and put this here. We'll take our image and we're going to center it. I always take my thumb, go down the middle. That's where you want to start. And then slowly and gently move this all the way out. Now, do you see here? I have that line here. We want to go ahead and we want to hurry up and get rid of that because that will transfer over to our finished image, and we do not want that. So we can just very gently, with a little bit of pressure, go over top of this. As you can see, we'll go over top of that. Then we'll go ahead and we'll take this and we'll pull. Again, remember my tip from the first video, you want to pull down and straight. And there we go. We can keep this to use again if we want to. Again, like I said in my first video, you don't have to because it is very inexpensive, but you can use it again for some little pieces. Go ahead and we'll put that down on the mat again and kind of rub it with our hands. Now you can see there are a couple of little marks that did show up here. You probably won't be able to see them on camera, but there's two little marks that showed up where everything kind of bubbled up with the contact paper, but you just take your burnishing tool and go over those. On these finer lined cups, you're not going to see a whole lot of bubbling because it is a finer line and easier to burnish out, as well as on this side. But again, what we're gonna want to do is in my next video, I think that I'm going to do for you guys, I'm going to kind of go ahead and show you how to layer some vinyl so you can see, because that does get very tricky. But here's our finished cup. And what I'll do is I'll go ahead, and I did get a question before. I just used the bag that it came in. Go ahead and I put that on here, put the lid on with the plastic still on it, and put the straw in, and then I put my tag that I actually make with my Cricut Explorer on it, and you can see on the Facebook page, and then we're good to go. If you have any other questions about applying vinyl to a cup, please go ahead and comment below, or you can go ahead and send me a message. But other than that, I thank you, happy crafting, and have a great day. Bye-bye.